Climbing Kilimanjaro requires good planning. With good planning comes confidence, and with confidence, normally fit people, even if they smoke, can do it, and so can you. In this movie we share our trip but also the planning we did in order to make it. We hope you will enjoy watching it. Climbing Kilimanjaro is a bucket list item for many people. The roof of Africa, highest freestanding mountain in the world, extreme altitude. Kilimanjaro is an exciting challenge. Despite many resources being available, we will still like to present our own idea about how we plan for and achieve success, in the hope that you can do the same. Climbing Kilimanjaro is a risky project. In fact, you can easily fail. There are no official statistics, but according to most tour operators, at least 20% do not make it in general. Although the failure most likely is not fatal or injuring, it would still mean that you would have to explain why you didn't reach the summit. Not nice. The risks are there, and that's why the risks have to be mitigated and managed. The system that brings you to the summit and down again is a combination of your body parts, such as your joints and bones, muscles, surface areas, organs, but also your psychological state and external factors including logistics, electricity, and so on. The risks that we are exposed to are mainly about temperature, strain injuries, lack of strength, and bad gear and clothing. After listing the risk elements such as blisters, injuries, lack of strength, cramps, etc., you can start listing root causes and how to mitigate the risk, and from that you can get a list of what you need to prepare for when climbing Kilimanjaro. In the end, the biggest concern for us was about two things: altitude sickness and our physical ability. Altitude sickness hits in an arbitrary manner, irrespective of age, fitness level, and experience. It is serious because it can be a showstopper. As for our physical ability, it was clear that we lacked multi-day hiking experience with high ascent rates. Also, we had to look into some missing gear and also lose a bit of weight and get in a better shape. We didn't feel like it, but it is generally recommended that you consult with a physician as part of your preparations. For us, the critical step was to choose the right route. Altitude is the key to altitude sickness. Acute mountain sickness, AMS, is the first stage and typically starts with headaches. This can lead to more severe cases, which we will not cover here. AMS is experienced by 20 to 40% at altitudes below 3,000 meters. So headaches must be expected. An altitude above 5,500 meters is considered an extreme altitude. Kilimanjaro is 5,895 meters, so be serious about the risk. Kili is extreme altitude. The risk is real. The only way to combat AMS is to ensure proper acclimatization. About 3,000 meters, you should increase sleeping altitude by max 300 meters per day and see no increase on the third day. Also drink a lot of water, as you can dehydrate from breathing extensively in dry air. Bottom line is, you cannot train for high altitude, you can only adjust to it. This puts an emphasis on the route choice. Of all route options on Kilimanjaro, only two routes barely meet the acclimatization guideline: Lemosho and Northern Circuit routes. We chose the Northern Circuit route as it has a success rate of about 95%. It has its name because it goes north of the mountain as opposed to all other routes which go south of the mountain. We also selected September because it's a dry season and at the tail of the high season, so it's a bit less crowded. More dry weather means less risks. Northern Circuit shares the same starting point as Lemosho route, but instead of going south, it turns north towards the Arnajaraq. And from there, it offers a spectacular view of the northern side of the mountain until it merges with the Rongai route on the eastern side of the mountain. What is good about the Northern Circuit route is that it's a 9-day program, 7 days up and 2 days down. So we get to spend about 4 days at an altitude around 4,000 meters. This means our bodies can find time to adapt to the altitude. There are even options to go high during the days to acclimatize if necessary. For the physical preparations, we had 3 priorities for our training. We need to train in the cold to test our layers, and we did so during winter in Nuuk, where we had temperatures down to almost -20 degrees with wind chill down to -27. Actually, this was not even training, but ordinary winter hikes. To train for multi-day hikes, we also did Arctic Circle Trail from Arnajaraq to Sisimiut in West Greenland. In itself, Arctic Circle Trail is a fantastic experience and could easily stand out as a highlight trip of the year. But for us, it was also part of our preparation for Kilimanjaro. The Arctic Circle Trail cannot be compared to Kilimanjaro. It is far longer, about twice as long, 150 kilometers, and we had to carry our own tent, cooking equipment and food. But it gave us a good hint about our ability to do multi-day hikes, and the daily ascents and descents also strengthened our legs and knees. Arctic Circle Trail is a very tough hike, and having completed it meant that we felt absolutely ready. Having completed Arctic Circle Trail gave us the self-confidence that only very few training programs could have given us. We were 100% confident about our ability to do a tough hike. Combined with local hikes up and down, as well as a brief exercise program with 5K runs in the month leading up to our departure, we felt physically prepared to take on Kilimanjaro. Packing for Kilimanjaro, that's a project in itself, as these pictures will probably show. But I'll just go through all these things one by one in order to show what we actually chose to pack. Actually, some of the tasks when you do the packing lists is to choose what not to pack. And we have tried to be as minimalistic as we thought it could be. So first and foremost, we will be wearing some of the gear on the way to Kilimanjaro so that we don't have to carry that also. So this is a middle layer, a mid layer, inner layer, as well as trousers and boots for the trip. And then the remaining layers are here. Thermal socks, I brought 8 pairs, some underwear, extra trousers, and also here the rain gear for the legs. 2 inner layer shirts, as well as 2 mid layer shirts. So that's actually 3 inner layers and 3 outer or mid layers that I'm carrying here, plus a shell. I've chosen not to bring a down jacket because I know from experience that these layers that I have here are sufficient down to -22 degrees Celsius. So I know that from experience in Greenland, so that's fine for me. Then moving on to the rest of the body, for the hands, an inner glove, outer glove, as well as neck protection, and a beanie plus a cap. And for the top day, we have bought some foot warmers and some hand warmers. We never ever used these before. And as I said, we do have a lot of experience from Greenland when it's cold. We know that we will manage, but we brought them just in case. And we never know. We bring them along. And then we have trekking poles. Just normal trekking poles that we use, foldable. And then the remaining equipment is about medication, energy, batteries, water treatment, personal gear, and so on. I'll just go through that. Electricity is so important. So we brought a power bank each, 20,000 ampere hours, both of us, plus the necessary connectors. We also brought a solar panel that we tested on Arctic Circle Trail, which is sufficient to power up an iPhone or charge an iPhone or two. And then we brought batteries, because we actually brought rechargeable headlamps as well as battery-driven headlamps, just to make sure that we do have enough light primarily on the top day. And then we brought also, of course, a plug for the Tanzanian grid, so that we can plug in our European plugs to that. For water carriage, we have our hydro packs, 3 liters, as well as bottles. We will use the bottles on the top day. Actually, we will use both, but we do expect this thing not to work after half an hour or 1 hour. We know that also from temperatures below 12, 15 degrees, even when they are insulated, then the hose, and especially the end of the hose, will start to freeze. So we'll also bring a bottle so that we have, warm. So we have water for the top day, and then we expect the hydro packs to be ready to be used later on in the day. And then we have our medical section, so to speak, and also things to improve our energy levels. So if we start with that, we have energy water tablets, energy bars, energy tablets. And we also have things to improve the water quality in case that is necessary. We have cleaning hand cleaning gel. We also have cleaning some cream to clean wounds if that is necessary, plasters and so on. Malaria pills also, as well as pills for our expected headaches, and also pills for expected pains, and also Imodium in case we have trouble with our stomachs. We have chosen not to use Diamox because we actually believe that our northern circuit route will allow us to acclimatize in an okay way, but we did bring these for the expected headaches that will occur. Apart from that, of course, the crew will also have their medical equipment with them. So we just brought what is essential for our personal use. We also brought some sanitary wipes and as I said, water cleaning stuff. And then one thing for the knee. Typically, when you have knee problems, it's only one knee at a time. So I only bring one of these. And here we have the lamp section, as you call it that. So we have headlamps with batteries, headlamps with rechargeable batteries. We have pocket knife, hearing, what you call it, earplugs for the camp, especially on the last day, so that we can block out all the sounds. We bring the Kilimanjaro book and a map as well. And of course, the expected top flag. And a padlock for the bag that we leave at the hotel, passports, sunglasses, and so on. And then we bring that in, not all of this, but some of it in the backpack that we will use ourselves. The rest of the stuff will be carried in this case, a 90-liter duffel bag. So we have one each, and that should be enough. We know it's enough, but there's not room for much more than what we have just shown here, because on top of all this, we also have our sleeping bags, minus 25 degrees, minus 18 degrees sleeping bag, so we will not get cold. And we also have a very high temperature rated inflatable mattress and an inflatable pillow as well. And then some camping shoes that we found, which are very practical also here in warm Copenhagen. So that is it. And last but not least, a notebook and a pencil. Not just a pen, because the pen will freeze, so a pencil will not freeze. and then some extra padlocks and travel documents. And of course, a towel, and actually these are not to be worn, it's just as something you can put over your bottle during the top night. And then I carry one of these and Arnajaraq carries two.
Hi.
Hey, so here we are, one day before, or actually the evening before kick-off. Tomorrow at 8 a.m. we'll be picked up by our guide to start our 9-day hike on Kilimanjaro with the aim to summit on the 17th, which is then like 7 days from now. Yeah. And of course we are excited and prepared, and everything has been checked. The gear is there, you know. We have packed, repacked, and repacked again. So we know what we have, and we have, tried to be as minimalistic as possible. But still very comfortable with our packing list.
We'll bring the necessary things.
So the only thing that lacks now is our own preparedness. I feel prepared, but I'm very excited. I know that the physical element will be fine, but I fear the altitude sickness. You know, that's the only thing. I have really no worries about the walk. It's only 81 kilometers. And the upwards, the strain on you walking up, that's not an issue either. But high altitude is the big unknown. So we can't do anything about it. We decided not to use diamox because we want to know. I mean, we have 3 days with the same altitude, about 3,500 meters. We don't see a need for medication, right?
No.
So,
we're gonna drink a lot of water.
Yeah. And Pole, we have lots of time, Northern Circuit route, lots of time. So we'll just take it as it comes. Well, are you worried about anything?
Excited but worried that I may not make it to the top.
Yeah.
But I hope for the best.
Yeah, and I think that's basically the same here. The decision that may come not to summit will be a tough one, but safety first, right? And we also agreed that if I'm ill and you are not, you continue. And if you are okay, then we will do it the other way too, right? But let's see what happens. We are prepared. We are excited. This will be fun. No matter what, it will be fun.
Yeah.
It's just that now we have told the whole world that we are going, and we'll be on the summit on the 17th. And of course, we still aim to do that, and we have a 95% chance, strictly speaking. To make it, so it will be all right.
Wish us good luck.
Yeah, wish us good luck. Over and out. Bye. So. Monkey and popcorn. So it's, what's the time? We actually don't know. Wait.
18:37.
Okay, it's 20 to 7 and we have dinner. It's getting dark outside. So we have this light here in the tent. And we are having cucumber soup. Let's take a look. No, let's not take a look.
Det er sådan.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah. Wow, looks good. And what are we having as a main dish?
Potato.
Salad.
Fish.
Balls. And
Avocado.
avocado. Whoa. Yeah. This was our first day and we felt good. The crew from Sarah Tours led by Sebastian and Musin was great. The 2.5-hour hike was a bit warmer and a slightly harder hike going up than we thought it would be, but it was fine. We had a nice tent and also our own toilet tent, which we can certainly recommend. And the weather was nice. Sebastian, our guide, came after dinner to measure our blood oxygen levels and our pulse. He would do this every night. We had decided to stay offline, but we used the InReach to send a status message back home, which was then shared to a messenger group. We did this every night. Arnajaraq felt fine, but I got a small headache late in the evening. Sleeping bags and mattresses were really good. Good morning. After 5 hours, here camp inside. Getting there? Yes? Hello. Hello. Shira camp what? Yeah. Second day.
Yeah, second day.
Yeah. 3,500 meters altitude. I have a headache. How about you? No?
I'm feeling okay.
Okay, yeah. So we had 5.5 hours hike today. 900 meters of ascent. It was good.
It was good, but
Pulle,
it
pulle,
was hot.
Yeah, 9 kilometers and much more warm than we thought it would be actually in this height. But apart from that, it was good. Yeah. So we came here around 400. That must be 1:30. Yeah, and now it's 4 o'clock. No, 5 o'clock almost. And yeah, as I said, I have a small headache. It's nothing serious, but it's enough to feel it, definitely, but not enough for painkillers and stuff like that. So I'll just take a nap, and see how it goes. Yeah. Hey. Day 2 was a warm day, but it was also very dusty as we hiked up what is called the Elephant's Back. We ate a lot of food and drank a lot of water. We had porridge, omelette and pancakes for breakfast, soup and warm meals for lunch as well as for dinner. We were told to eat as much as possible so that we could withstand days with no appetite. And so we did, and actually began to fear putting on weight. Arnajaraq is feeling fine and had same blood oxygen level as yesterday. My headache grew worse here at 3600 meters, but it disappeared after a short nap. My blood oxygen level dropped by around 5%, but it's still good.
Ayon Kilimanjaro. Uslupingayuat pisuffipput. Wow. Uslumik ikangaan pisuppu. Isikkivik.
Cathedral Point, 3,800 something. A small deviation on the way to 02. We get some altitude and we get a very nice view. Actually, the Machama Road is down there somewhere. So, and we are certainly above the clouds now, most of them. Yeah. And of course, Kitty is still there. Cathedral Point. And now at Shira 2 camp. Our camp is here, and we have about 15 degrees Celsius. The time is about 3 o'clock, maybe 3:30. And the temperature varies a lot. Sometimes it's 15 degrees when the sun is there, and sometimes it's feels like 10 degrees when it's not there. And in the night, in the previous camp, we reached -3, -4, we guess. And it'll be slightly colder here. Of course, there's no electricity up here, so we have power banks. But we also have this little device here. In the past 2 days, it has successfully charged our phones and an InReach and a Garmin watch while we were walking by putting this on top of the backpack. It simply works. So it's 18:25. Temperature has dropped to 6 degrees Celsius. And actually, a lot of people are watching the sunset. Understandably so. And as a bonus, Mount Meru in the distance. I don't know if you can see it here. Yeah. There.
Camp sidder to med boots. Ullupingussa, ullum aing. Qaqiffi boots. Seqintarrilerpa. Tava. Nej. Qamman. Qamappa. Tava. Kilimanjaro Putsunik asseqqavaq kisia unnu ilaman nuissu.
It was a long night for me, as I was awake for several hours after midnight. But today was another wonderful day with good weather and a beautiful hike to Cathedral Point on the way to Shira 2 camp. My headache finally came in full force here at Shira 2, being at 3,900 meters, and I took the first painkiller after a short nap, and it worked. Blood oxygen levels are good. Arnajaraq dropped slightly, and I stayed at same level as yesterday. We have to get used to seeing our pulse going up above 100 as soon as we move around, but we are still good. (6:30 a.m. Shira Camp 2, sleeping above the clouds. Another sunny morning. And what we see now is that Kipo is actually very close. So we arrived at Moa Camp from up there somewhere, and a lot less people now on this route. And tomorrow we will be heading this way up somewhere along here to the buffalo camp. How are we feeling, honey?
I got a bit headache and have a bit nausea.
Okay. Yeah, me too. Also headaches since for the past 2 days actually. But I took some painkillers and that's okay.
Kilimanjaro, mlima mrefu sana. Ewe Sefu, ewe Sefu, ewe Sefu, ona wanizungusha, 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 wanakamila nyama. Kilimanjaro, 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 Marongai, Marongai. Kilimanjaro, mlima mrefu sana. Ewe Sefu, ewe Sefu, ewe Sefu, ona wanizungusha.
Oh, ready?
Almost.
Almost. Nice.
Ullumiksi ullusisamassaan kananip kamperput an ui kaiturpulluusi Bastian tavalu Hakuna Matata pikungmiortaqqammivugut ammukaqqittugut ukunuk naasut inneruulan qanerma assingusuarikka kisuaraaraa. What do you call the flowers?
We call the Dulus flower.
Dulus flower.
Flower.
Okay.
Yeah.
Today was a day with a very short hike. The original plan included a hike to Lava Tower for acclimatization, but Sebastian did not see it as necessary. Although we did worry a bit about the lack of acclimatization, we were grateful that we could relax a bit. At 4,000 plus meters, we both had headaches, and Arnajaraq also had a bit of nausea. During the night at Shira, I took a painkiller, and Arnajaraq took one during the morning as well. We took a nap in the afternoon, and I took a painkiller after that. We went on a brief acclimatization hike to the top of the valley late afternoon. It was an easy hike, and we both felt good coming down. Arnajaraq's headache and nausea had also disappeared by that time. Moa camp is a very cold camp when the sun is gone, but it warmed our hearts to notice that we were now more than halfway towards the top already, with only 1700 meters to go, and also more than halfway in terms of time. But at this altitude, we could already feel that each step felt like 2, and each kilo we carried felt like 2. But all this was expected, and so we both felt absolutely okay.
Hej, unnukuts arfin marlungulerpermaani. Ayun tuperputs. Hej hobby. Hej. Neeqqammivugut. Seqintarreqqammiuq nilleqaa immaa qassi.
What? That's a good
Okay, kisiasorlissinneru soq aam isugutakkami. Ullorisnuereerput qaammat taava ikaniippoq Kilimanjaro. Yes.
Day 5 morning, Moa camp. This is one of our wet tissues we left on the table. But in the fore tent, it has been like -5 degrees Celsius. Inside here, somewhat warmer. We guess around 0, 1 or 2 maybe. And outside, it's probably been -7. But it's a beautiful morning.
Let's go home.
This is the view outside our tent. Kibo. We are 5 days in, and in exactly 72 hours from now, we will be standing up there. Oh, will we? How do we feel, baby?
We feel good. We're getting the warm. It's been a very cold night.
Yeah, it's been a cold night, absolutely. But we are good. No headaches. Normal breath. Yeah. And optimistic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So 72 hours from now, we'll be up there.
Ussutassimmassa ujarikkuuq ujaarparpaqquq pisuffiingaatiarpaq suli putsuqulaanippu.
This is our version of the Barranco Wall. Much smaller, but okay. And a beautiful view. Last half a mile to Pofu Camp. Funny rocks. Valenzi. Sinesio. Next to the river bed. Another one up there as well. Whoa. Pofu camp. We came from over there somewhere, and then we are on this small one. We passed another camp called Buffalo Camp, which is also a Pofu camp, but this is the real one. I actually don't know. It must be the old Pofu camp actually, because there's a new Pofu camp somewhere. So what we see over there is Kenya, and obviously to the other side, Kilimanjaro. And our home is right here. And what time is it? It's like 2 o'clock. We came 1:30 after a 5-hour hike. Yeah.
The hike to Pofu camp was relatively easy, although the trail went up and down a lot. The landscape went from rock and no vegetation to a bit of vegetation as we came closer to Pofu. The landscape even had some moraine features, which made me wonder if there has ever been larger glaciers on the northern side of the mountain. Pofu itself was a beautiful camp as well. Although it was not difficult to breathe in general, once you did something unexpected, breathing came out of rhythm and required much more energy. It was as if you never got enough air into your lungs and therefore had to breathe again immediately. So breathing became a very conscious thing, and this was particularly annoying after going to bed trying to sleep. It was as if you could not relax enough to fall asleep. On top of this, your pulse went up at any movement, which also made it more difficult to sleep. We continued to eat a lot and drink a lot of water. It became a daily task to complete the camel pack and the 1-liter bottle every day. On a positive note, the headaches had finally disappeared. This was a big relief, although our heads still felt a bit heavy. Our oxygen blood levels went downwards. Arnajaraq was now at 88 and Verner, was at 80, which was actually a small improvement compared to the day before. At this point, we also experienced a growing anxiety about the forthcoming summit day, now being only a bit more than 2 days away. But we were ready.
Så er der noget at lande på. did it. It's much better than it looks like.
Day 6 started with the best sleep we have had so far. Pofu magic. Because we drank water all the time, we had to get up during every night to pee. And in Pofu, we experienced a completely quiet night with stars and no wind and all the lights in Kenya. It was so beautiful that we had to smoke a bit before going to bed again. The Pofu breakfast was the first without eggs. Finally, Juma ran out of eggs. Also no toast, but there was porridge and other good stuff. The hike to Third Cave was short, only 3 hours and relatively easy. We had a wonderful lunch, good chicken with French fries. We spent some time preparing for the tips for the crew, and we gave up cleaning ourselves from all the dust that we have experienced in the past days. Instead, we spent the afternoon riding A+V with stones on the dried out riverbank. Late afternoon, we did a 4 kilometer, 300 meter plus acclimatization hike before having a rice tower. It was a good day, but when we looked at Kibo from Third Cave, it was actually a bit terrifying. But of course, we remained hopeful.
So, night camp. Like this. Oh. Ta-da.
The night into day 7 was also a nice night, and we enjoyed another night smoke with no wind. The school hut is a hike more than 720 meters up with no flat parts, and we expected it to take 5 hours. But it took us only 3.5 hours to walk the 4.5 kilometers, and we arrived at 11:45.
Hallo. Good. Affen mallusad. Camping usad. Kabi. Unnua kakkat missään niin kapitussa saa. Pissämin. Pujottappin.
So,
Kano kutsitsikisumi?
hæ?
Kano kutsitsikisumi?
4.800 meter.
Mitä on? Arvoja, jos ingensälsä.
The school hut has no vegetation. There's no water. This was our first time in 4,700 plus meters, and we could certainly feel it. For the first time, we realized how unfriendly this high altitude level is. We spent an hour going through a checklist we made the day before to make sure we had all the layers ready, our flag, batteries, power bank, cables, sunblocker, sunglasses, plus energy boosters and so on. After lunch, we took a nap. When we woke up, my head was very heavy, almost like a headache, and I took a painkiller at 3 p.m., after which my head felt a lot better. Arnajaraq was fine, but we both had a stomach which was not 100% happy. We prepared everything and packed all the things we didn't need according to the checklist and made sure we would be ready to go at 11:45 p.m. We even pulled a weather report for the summit on the inReach, and minimum temperature would be around -9 degrees Celsius, going up to about -1. Not bad.
So for tonight, we'll be walking in darkness for about 7 hours. So we brought 2 headlamps each. One with a rechargeable battery and one with a replaceable battery. And the logic behind that is that we have a backup in case we need one. But we will start out with the battery charged, or the replaceable battery charged lamps. And when they go out, if they do, then we have the rechargeable one. And when they go out, if they do, then we can always fill some spare batteries in the first ones. And then we are covered for all 6 hours, 7 hours. Definitely. Last dinner. It's about 5:30. And we will be leaving in 6 hours. We have slept a little bit. Very little. I've had a headache, so I'm taking painkillers. But other than that, we are fine. We are ready in terms of gear, clothing. We even pulled a weather report, which says that it will go from -9 to about 0 at the top as we progress from midnight and then to 5 a.m., 7 a.m. this morning. And we have to get down anyway before 11 because there will be 60% chance of snow. But we are down anyway, so that's fine. We are excited, hopeful. Of course, never sure, but hopeful and determined. Yeah.
We had dinner and Siba came by to test our oxygen levels. I had tested myself on my Garmin watch a bit before and tested at 84, but Siba's first test said 57. After cleaning dust from my finger, it came back to 79 on the second measurement, going down to 74. Arnajaraq was really fine at 89. We went to sleep at 7 p.m. with the alarm set for 11:15 p.m.
Turned out to be not as cold as we thought. So there's a trail up there. It's midnight and we left the camp, which is down there. Beautiful morning. Barenze.
Shule. Ningekuja huko. Wale yani wanaambia siko yeye nikae nikulimbie. Nampa hela tu kila
Mtu
mmoja.
mmoja tu. Na mpangaji jana anauza maji hapo pwani kachora bomba liko pale. Anajua mwenyewe.
Maji yashavuta.
2 hours into the hike
Maji na umeme.
at 5,078. 12 minutes past 3. We are at Hans Meyer Point, which is a nice cave, and which also means we are 3 hours into the hike. Siba says we are doing well, but I don't feel so. but it's fine. We are dead tired, but we are about halfway through the worst part, and still feeling good, right? Yeah. Optimistic. We just entered the highway, the zigzag route, where the Kibo hut and the school hut routes connects, and then we have to go up there somewhere. And the tough part is up to, what is that point called again? Gilman's Point.
Gilman's
Yeah.
Point.
And from there it should be a bit easier. And we also still see now I forgot it again. Vasensi, the other mountain. Mawensi, that was the name, yeah. So I better stop talking now. Nice. So how do you feel?
Relieved,
Yeah, relieved.
happy.
I think relieved is a perfect word. Yeah. Mission accomplished. Well, okay, we have to get down also.
How do you recap a life-changing moment in a few minutes? Well, we left at midnight. It was precisely full moon. We did actually plan for that, so there was a lot of light and we almost didn't need the headlamps. The assistant guide Musin had been forced to go home for some medical urgency with his mother, so Sebastian appointed Soile, one of the porters, to be our assistant guide. The 6 hours to Gilman's Point was extremely hard. It is safe to say that this was one of the hardest things we have ever done. Breathing was difficult and had to be done in a fixed rhythm. I had difficulty finding that rhythm while walking, also because we walked on steep gravel slopes, and at some point each step forward was reduced to half a step as your foot slipped. I so wanted a break all the time, but I also knew that this was not possible. My walking was also affected by the thin air. I literally walked as if I was drunk, while my brain was sharp and being fully aware of it. Yet we were doing fine in the beginning. We even overtook a few people and managed to cheer up a guy who had stopped somewhere along the trail with his guide waiting for him. But it simply became more and more tough. Halfway towards Gilman's Point, we handed over our backpacks to Siba and Soile upon their suggestion. At first we were a bit reluctant, but very quickly reasoned that all measures were applicable to reach the goal. Foolish pride had no place in this situation. At around 5 a.m., 1 hour before Gilman's Point, I was seriously demotivated. All I remember from the past hour is breathing and walking, breathing and walking. We took a small break where Sebastian pointed towards Gilman's Point, explaining that we were very, very near. We continued, and suddenly, as the new day was just below the horizon, Gilman's Point seemed very, very near, and the energy came back. When we reached the rim of the crater while daylight was breaking and I could watch the inside of the crater for the first time, I simply started to cry. I could not hold it back. Not because of any pain, but merely out of relief. At this point, standing next to Gilman's Point, I knew for the first time that we would make it. We stayed at Gilman's Point for 10 minutes or so while enjoying the first sunlight. And although the peak seemed very close, it was another 1.5 hours away. The first part to Stellar Point was easy, but from there on it was a long, long walk where each step felt like 4. The last 30 minutes were so tough that even though you felt certain that you ought to be able to make it, you began to fear that your body couldn't. At 7:52 we reached the summit, and then we cried again, relieved that we actually made it. This experience made us realize that although climbing Kilimanjaro is a hard physical effort, and that we can certainly attest to, then it is also about climbing a psychological mountain of concerns and expectations that you have built up ahead of yourself during many, many months. And once you succeed, you experience an immense release of emotions rooted in a huge, huge sense of relief. That's why climbing Kilimanjaro is a volcano of emotions waiting to erupt. Once you reach the top, you slowly start to realize that all you planned for worked out, and all the uncertainties that are associated with this undertaking are behind you. You have succeeded. And that's exactly why Arnajaraq's reply described at the summit when I asked, "How do you feel?" Relieved, tired, and happy. In reality, it actually took a few days for us to absorb the feeling of accomplishment. It was so hard to believe that we actually had done it. The descent was tough too. Endless downwards walk. 2,800 meters during the summit day, followed by 1,400 meters the day after. But for some strange reason, the knees and thighs were okay. Perhaps a gift from Kilimanjaro. Well, there's also another feeling associated with reaching the summit. That of gratitude towards guys like Sebastian and Soile, who had the strength and experience to support us all the way up and down.
wakaribishwa wapi? Kilimanjaro. Hakuna matata, tulianzale moto, hakuna matata. Na miti tukapika, hakuna matata. Kashira tukaenda, hakuna matata. Kashira tukapika, hakuna matata. Kwehati tumekunywa, hakuna matata. Na kofu tukalenda, hakuna matata. Na teni tukapika, hakuna matata. Sikuriati tukalala, hakuna matata. Uhuru wakapika, hakuna matata. Leo tukomweka, hakuna matata. Jambo bana, habari gani? Mzuri sana. Wageni wakaribishwa wapi? Kilimanjaro. Hakuna matata. Kilimanjaro. Kilimanjaro, mlima mrefu sana. Na mawenzi, na mawenzi. Na mawenzi, mlima mrefu sana. Ewe nyoka, ewe nyoka, ewe nyoka. Ewe nyoka, mbona wanizunguka? Wanizunguka, wanizunguka, wanizunguka. Wanizunguka, wataka kunila nyama.
Yay!